Tomato soup.
Whatever water. It's very difficult to do this after work. I can't do it. I either like up at night or up in the morning. I can't do double.
My sound
Yeah, so I'm gonna be off. I'm gonna be lagging in one way. Yeah, definitely. It's always different. I tried to do a show with governors last week. I had to cancel.
I almost forgot to hit record. Didn't I tell you one day it's gonna happen? One day it's gonna happen.
Yikes.
You do stand up? That's cool, really.
I did for a while, yeah, a lot. It's very tiring though.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine so.
Yeah. It's very tiring. So
Well, let
it's
us know if you're gonna do it. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay,
Ready?
yeah.
Ready?
Deal. Yeah.
Here we go.
It's probably a bit, but yeah. Maybe Christmas. Santa stand up.
The following is brought to you in part by MFC Studios. The views of the show's host and guests do not necessarily reflect those of the management, owners, or staff of this radio station. And now, it came from the radio.
And welcome once again to It Came From The Radio, the official show of the Big Apple Con. This is your host, Mark Torres, speaking. We are here live in front of a live studio audience.
Thank you.
East Meadow Public Library for our 97th live show. I am here with my co-host, Elman Jenny Feldy.
Good evening.
And we are here with our special guest who we're going to be talking to, with, and about, which is awesome because he's here, Mr. George Medina.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
As I mentioned, we're going to be talking to, with, and about George in just a minute, but before we do any of that, we have to take it away with the news. The news is brought to you in part by the fine folks at SCIFI.radio. That is Sci-Fi,
Real Wi-Fi.
as well as the fine folks of the Big Apple Con, of which we are the official radio show of, celebrating over 26, 7, 8, 9 years of compactness and pop culture stuff. For more information, go to www.bigapplecc.com. Their next convention is scheduled for November the 22nd, and tickets are on sale right now. So you can buy tickets, and in a month you go down there. Also want to give out shout-outs for our Patreons, of which there are Danny Grillo, award-winning director Jared Burrell, Newsday famous Dresden Media, Shadow Rabbit Art, Yasmin Ray, The Huracan, and Millie Portes. The Huracan is also a convention on November the 22nd in East Rockaway, New York, and you can only get tickets there in person. Also, if you want to get a shout out on our Patreon page, go to our website, www.itcamefromradio.com. Little button on there takes you right to our Patreon page. Also, on the It Came From The Radio website is my book, Designated, a book about two warring alien races fighting over a newly discovered power source. The war finds its way to planet Earth, and as a result, some humans gain abilities. Issue 1 is on sale right now. And I believe that's all I have to say about that. Yes, I feel like I'm missing a thing, but yeah, I usually announce the live show, but we're here at the live show. Alright, so normally we take it away with the sad news, but we have no sad news this week. So we're just going to go to the regular news. Let's see what we have.
I had to look things up.
From the That's a Lot of Nuts department. The new Taylor Swift Watch Release Party movie has taken the #1 spot in the domestic box office, pulling in $34 million in ticket sales in its first week of release, beating out the new Leonardo DiCaprio Sean Penn Leonardo DiCaprio Sean Penn action thriller, One Battle After Another, which came in at the #2 spot, making an additional $11 million in its second week of release. I use the term movie in the loosest sense of the word because the Taylor Swift thing is basically a behind-the-scenes clip show with Taylor describing each song and then playing the song with lyrics on screen. For those of you keeping track, the Minecraft movie is still the highest grossing film of this year so far, with $423.9 million, followed by the live-action Lilo & Stitch film with $423.7 million. Are you a Taylor Swift fan, George?
No. But I'm also not a Taylor. I don't want the Swifties coming after me. I'm not Taylor Swift. I'm indifferent, I guess.
Alright, Jen, you a Taylor Swift fan? You know, if you can't either say yes right away, I'm gonna say
And
you're
I
not
heard
not.
like one song, the "Shake It Off" thing, got in my head for a little, so
Okay.
she got me. I'm not gonna say I'm a fan because I don't wake up
You
thinking
appreciate
about
her song that she
But
did.
there was a song in my head, and I was like, okay, yeah, she's very talented. I could see how people like it.
I'm actually
Yeah.
surprised that
But no.
not even a movie, just a watch party is
Yeah.
number one at the
I know,
box
I
office.
know.
That's
Yeah.
insane
Yeah.
on that's how powerful Taylor Swift. Imagine if she made
Yeah.
a movie,
Yeah.
how many
Right.
people would go see this movie? So maybe that's the answer. Taylor Swift needs to make
Well-
a movie. She could save the industry.
So wasn't she supposed to be Dazzler or something like?
They were
was-
talking
Like,
about
Like they were
that.
talking about her.
So what happened
Oh, a
was
showgirl type of thing, right?
No, the
Dazzler's is
the
a comic
mutant.
book character.
Oh, there's a showgirl thing about her too.
oh
Yeah, yeah. People
No.
are like upset she's gonna play some type of showgirl, and she's not a showgirl. She has no training. I don't know. I heard this from some burlesque people I know. I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah, I saw some posts about she's not a showgirl. How does she think she can be a showgirl? I don't know what these people were talking about.
But don't you always say it's acting, it's pretending, it's not real life? So like
Yeah.
she doesn't have to be a showgirl to.
Yeah, I guess it was like something like there was a role given to her, and people thought it should have been better suited for some type of showgirl type.
Huh.
Maybe I'm getting it wrong. I don't know. I'm obviously not a Swift aficionado. I hope not. I hope I don't come off like.
But you think Taylor Swift can save the movie industry by
No.
making a movie? What was your idea
No.
to save the movie
It's
industry?
the same. It's massages, drug dealing, junk food, maybe boutique healthy food, but that doesn't make much money. But yeah, drugs and massages. I really
That's how to save the movie
listen.
industry.
I would love a massage. Maybe do some drugs later.
Not hard drugs.
They're kind of chewy. They're chewy. Yeah, they're chewy. But I don't chew them because it gives you cavities. So you just
Swallow them
Yeah,
whole?
yeah. Because you'll get cavities if you chew on like sugary stuff.
I'm not
So
taking a bit on this one.
no, that's actually great advice for anyone who wants to take any type of gummies. Let's say it's a turmeric supplement and it's gummy. This is great advice. Don't chew your sleep supplements. Don't chew any gummies because you get cavities. You're chewing the sugar into your teeth. This is really phenomenal advice that no one's ever given me, and I made it up myself. And I'm a dentist's daughter, so 4 out of 5 dentists might agree with me.
I'm one dentist's daughter.
Yeah, I don't know any dentist daughters, but I know.
You're a dentist's
Well, I
daughter.
don't. Other than me.
You just said
Other
you're.
than me.
Okay, that's what I said. And
I
one
know
dentist's
myself.
daughter.
And
4 or
Alex
5
Jones.
dentists
Alex
and
Jones
one
is
dentist's
a
daughter.
dentist's son. Alex
Well, you're not.
Jones.
He's not a dentist.
I know, but I
One
have an
dentist
affinity
and one
towards
dentist's
him,
son.
and it makes me feel closer to him that
What
he
just
also.
Moving on.
Sorry.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna
It's
move
called
on.
me not following the program.
We're
That's what it's
moving on.
called.
We're moving on.
It's called me
Moving-
hosting the show.
moving on.
It's going somewhere.
From the editor insert clip here department, none other than Hasbro has announced that they are filing a patent
Right.
and trademark for the transformation sound.
Right.
Let's see if I can get this in for people who don't know what
Yeah.
sound is. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna press this. There,
That's their sound?
that is the transformation sound. That's what a transformation sound is from.
I looked it up. I tried.
According to the filing, it reads, the mark consists of an 8 kilohertz fidelity pulse repeated 5 times,
Oh.
with each pulse lasting roughly an equal amount of time, whose pitch can be represented by the absolute value of an increasing sin wave. Each pulse changes by 1 semitone of ascending pitch. Each pulse has a choral reverb effect to emulate an electronic sound, unquote. That's the official, what I just played, that's what that was.
Yeah, yeah.
What's interesting is that this is solely going to be for their toys, as the category is filed under goods and services, which cover, quote, toys, vehicles, and accessories for use therewith, toy action figures and accessories for use therewith, toy action figures, toy vehicles, and toy robot convertible into other visual toy forms. It's kind of like the Bionic, the Bionic Man sound, and I'm reminded of the Transformers, the toys, that after they first came out, when the commercial Transformers were big, they had a little notation on the bottom of the toys, transforming times may vary,
Yeah.
because people were complaining that it was too hard to transform, like basically saying your kids are stupid that they can't transform a
Right.
toy. So they legally had to put that on the commercial transforming times may vary. But the fact that they are now doing the sound, they're trying to patent this sound, make a copyright, trademark the sound.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that means that the toys are gonna have that sound when they're trying to manipulate them
transform
or something. I think it's weird.
I think, yeah.
Isn't it weird?
I think they should like put it in bathrooms, like because now that it's patented, you might want to market it for like restaurants.
All right.
So maybe if you're taking too long,
This is
you
me
know,
taking the
after 2
bait.
minutes,
I'm
you're
gonna
like,
take the bait.
"Rah, rah, rah."
Is that means it's time to get out? Is that your
just
time
maybe
is up?
like lay a little fire under someone, or maybe I could have a little button so if someone's taking a little long time, you know, and it's like I want to just be like a producer on set, like go to the next topic. I can just go, rah, 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 and they can be like, "What's that sound?" Like I don't know. I guess you gotta go.
But then if you use it, you have to pay them because it's
Screw
a
that.
patented.
I'm
it's a
gonna
patented sound.
LimeWire Napster it. Who cares? Remember that LimeWire Napster? I'll get your sound house, bro. Your special little sound.
What,
So are they working? So it hasn't come down.
they
through yet.
apply
They
for
apply.
it, so it has
So
to be
you technically can
approved.
still use it now.
Right, you can
Why
still,
do they
I
need
can
to
use,
patent
I'm
it?
You
not
can
gonna,
still use
I
it.
can use, right.
Yeah,
So
you
what do
can
you
still
think? Do you
Yeah,
think
why?
it's,
Why
I think
patents?
it's kind of.
do you think it's cool? Or do you think it's stupid?
Like you said, if the toy is gonna do that when it's transforming, like as you're trying to do something with it, it goes like that's cool, right?
Yeah,
If it's
yeah.
doing it, but other than that,
Or
what
the self-transforming toys that they have
Yeah, you
now.
press the
the
you
button,
press the button, you hear it go.
Which
Yeah,
if
that's
you
cool.
think like you're losing the entire purpose of the toy was to interact with you, just boop, and then it does it on its own. What fun is that?
Yeah, but also, have you ever thought about using that sound ever? Like,
Right.
in life?
No.
why would
Now
you
it-
use that?
until now.
Right, until now.
It was like when they made abortions legal. It's like I never really wanted one, but then I'm like, you know what I'm thinking? This sounds like maybe I'm in the mood for abortion. Like now that I can't have it, you know, it's like you're on a diet, you know. It's like when you're on a diet, you really want ice cream.
We should have gone with
You
that
know, it's
one
like
first.
now I really want this song. I
that
want
probably-
this sound.
that
I might
might-
make a remix to it.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on. Moving
You
on.
just have to make something unallowed, and then that's what happens to people. You know, psychology.
Moving on.
This is a very psychological show.
From the we have reached the next step
Right now.
department. Recently, at LA Comic-Con, none other than a proto-hologram, which is described as, quote, the world's first and only holographic communications platform with its own hardware, software, and app ecosystem, unquote, had on display the Stan Lee experience. This consisted of a large, portable, enclosed booth with an AI hologram of Stan Lee interacting with fans taking photos and having one-on-one conversations for up to 3 minutes at a time, all at a price of $15 to $20 per visit. Executives say, we'll never put words in the mouth that aren't in line with the things that he spoke about in his lifetime. Fortunately, with decades of footage capturing his thoughts on many subjects, we can build a voice that stays true, not always word for word, but always faithful in spirit, context, and intent. Basically, they got a box, and they have an AI image of Stan Lee, and using AI Stan Lee talking to you, and you're paying $15 to $20 to talk to a fake Stan Lee. I think we've gone off the deep end in this one, because this is something that I saw, I think it was during the pandemic. So there were companies that makes AI of people's loved ones that passed away. And so they make an AI so that people can still talk to the person.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's we've passed the bar of things. So now we're having a Stan Lee, you're able to talk and communicate with Stan Lee. That's not really Stan Lee, but sort of Stan Lee. You're paying $15 to $20
Yeah.
Stan Lee.
Yeah.
So we know we've been talking about AI many, many times. And actually, we were at New York Comic Con today, and Jim Lee, the president of DC Comics, announced that he is not going to use AI in his comic books
Wow.
as long as he's with the company. No
Wow.
AI.
Okay.
So, George, what are your thoughts on AI and an AI Stan Lee
Yeah.
at a convention?
When you said, all right, so as you were reading that, the first thing that surprised me was the price. $15 to $20 to talk to Stan Lee. Like, I don't think, right? I don't think you, right? I don't think you could do that when he was alive. You couldn't talk to him.
It was
Right.
like $100 and something dollars.
Yeah.
Right. So but that's weird, man.
Yeah.
That's strange. And
Yeah.
you're allowed to ask him how many questions? You said
You get a 3-minute conversation.
3-minute
with him.
conversation.
3-minute conversation, and take a take a selfie with an AI Stan Lee. Like I'm like I don't understand.
Wow.
Now, his family involved, like have they?
His family,
they
so
That's
so
my
what,
question.
so what happened
Yeah.
was, so the company makes the booth, and you
Right.
can put anybody in there,
Right.
and then they got permission from Stanley's family
Oh,
to
wow.
use Stanley in that.
Wow.
So it's authorized by the family, but still,
Who gets the money? That's my question.
the company gets the money, and then I guess so they license it. So
Yeah.
basically, the company pays Stanley's family however much money
That's the
to
question.
use
Yeah.
the Stanley, and then they
Yeah.
put it in there, and then they make the money off of that. So I guess it's like a celebrity where they have guarantees. You know, you can use
Yeah.
our Stanley booth as long as you give us $30,000,
Right.
and they'll make it up. Well, would you go and talk to Stanley for
Would
$15? Yes, would you?
I don't even want to talk to real celebrities. I don't care. So I'm definitely not going to talk to some people back
All right, so
celebrity.
let's.
no.
I'm
No way.
I'm
No way.
regretting this already. I'm regretting this already. Would you do an AI person of a loved one or someone who
Maybe.
who passed away?
Maybe.
So you would pay
Because I got two parents. I'm an only child. And, you know, they say if you're like 40, you shouldn't be calling yourself an orphan. Anything happens. But, like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I would want to F around and find out with the AI. You know, I don't know. Maybe how unhealthy, like pros and cons.
I think it's super
Pros and cons?
unhealthy.
Pros and cons. I'd rather, you know, screw around and see what happens a little bit and try to talk to my parents, you know, or maybe my dog after it passes, maybe.
You have an AI dog.
Sure, why not?
less.
Sure, all three. And
All three.
maybe even my grandma, you know, in her earlier years, not the last couple of years. That was
Right,
no
right,
good.
right.
That was no good. We don't want to bring that back. But what's the problem? You know, what if I spend 5 minutes every couple days? It's definitely better than what I did today. I like 8 protein granola bars. It's so unhealthy. Maybe it's healthier if I talk to AI, you know?
What do you think,
Yeah.
George? Would you?
Yeah.
Well, first, would you pay to talk to AI Stanley, and or would you? What about like
No.
a death one? A death one. I keep on saying death
He's
one.
lying.
A loved one who
Well,
died.
You know what? It's hard to say. Like you asked me that, and then you made your points, and it's like,
Right.
I mean, it's your family member, right? I
Right.
just
But
don't
it's
know.
not really.
I know. It's the.
Oh my God!
So,
Come on! Come on!
Let me have
Let me
it.
talk! Yeah, let me have
We're
it.
in a
please.
situation where
Come
people
on.
are marrying digital characters. Like I
Right.
think there's something a little
Or
wrong
that
with talking
AI
to
actress that everybody wants, that
the
they're
hot
trying to
Scarlett
sign.
Johansson.
Oh, I
Oh,
saw.
yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah.
this
Right.
actress
So
in that. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's a bad.
No, all the more
it's a
reason.
bad precedent. It's a bad
If
precedent.
people are getting married, why can't I talk to my loved ones for a few minutes? You know.
But it's not really them. That's the thing. It's
So you wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do
You
it.
would not.
I would not do it.
You wouldn't mess with
I
it.
would do the marriage too. I would
You would
marry
marry an AI?
Hell yeah.
Yeah?
Hell yeah. I've said that. I would marry an inanimate object. I would marry
What-
like 7. I think it would be so funny.
What is your
Yes.
what is your
Yes.
AI guy look like? Does it
It
is
doesn't
it just
have to
a
be a
box?
guy. I said inanimate object.
Oh,
Like, I would
so-
marry this container. Like as long as it's not breathing,
And it'll
I'm
talk
down.
to you. It'll talk back. What would it say?
It can say whatever it wants, whatever, you know. It's like I give a little freedom, you know. I'm a good wife, you know. But if it's an inanimate object, that's a perfect marriage material because, you know, marriage is a messed up contract. Anyone in contract law will tell you it's a ridiculous contract. If it was a business, you would never sign it. Your business advisors would say, don't sign it.
Right.
So therefore, marrying inanimate objects and AI,
It's about love. Right? No?
Sure, you know, but it's got to make sense contractually, you know. Contractually, it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
But
So-
I would marry the speaker. I'd marry the speaker in an hour.
All right.
I've thought about this a lot.
Hell.
Yeah. What's the speaker gonna come back at me during the middle of the night and be like, "Oh, I want to take your downstairs. Like I own half the house from the ground floor down or something," you know? A real man or woman might say, "I'm taking your upstairs. I'm gonna take your guest room and cut it off and put it in a mobile home unit and drive off with it."
You really have been thinking about this a lot.
Yes. Yes.
It haunts me.
All right.
Yes.
So, moving on.
Okay.
From the
True.
so now it's a bad thing to part.
Okay.
None other than the video game Fortnite has disabled Peacemaker's dance emote from their online game.
Right.
This is due directly to the spoiler revelation on the series
Yeah, what?
that the opening dance sequence of the second season, which the emote is based on John Cena doing a swastika dance.
What is that?
Fortnite, do you know what a...
He does this.
Yes, it's yeah.
So that's a swastika dance?
Yeah,
For real?
so Well,
Yeah.
one second. Fortnite says,
what?
we disabled the peaceful hips emote in Fortnite as we inquire into our partner's creative intentions into this collaboration more. Assuming it's not coming back, we'll issue refunds in the next few days. Sorry, folks. So basically, the season 1 and season 2 of Peacemaker, there's an opening dance sequence, and in the dance sequence, there are hidden cues as to what's happening in the story. So, and then in this, in spoilers, as the show already came out, it happened 2 weeks ago. No, 2 weeks ago, that the revelation happened 2 weeks ago. So that when John Cena is doing the dance for this season, he does a dance that could be contributed as a certain thing, and in the series it's revealed that he goes to a world that there's Nazis that won, and now they're saying that the dance was Nazi-ish because he does a certain move with his hands, and then the Fortnite people pay for these things in the game because, do you ever play The Sims?
Oh, maybe a long time ago.
So if you think about the
time.
game Sims, you make them do stupid things and they interact with other people. So while you're playing Fortnite,
They can dance.
they can do a dance or whatever, and you have to pay for these things.
Wow.
So people pay for the dance because they thought it was kind of cool that he did it in the show, and then they're like, oh, now he's supporting Nazism, and then it's a bad thing. So then they took it off.
Was the dance pro-Nazi or?
It was him doing a motion that can be interpreted as a swastika. That's where we're at. So
I mean, that's like saying a woman is reminiscent of a ketchup bottle based on her body or something. You know, like how do you how does your
that's the dance.
Yes,
That's right
he
there.
did.
That was the
I
dance.
remember. I mean, how is this a swastika?
Because of the way the arms move. So
that's a stretch. I'm sorry.
But I'm like, first of all, if you're the video game company, shouldn't you know what you're getting, what you're paying for? If you're the company making the game,
they're gonna know the bossa nova
and if
the swastika.
if you're making something that you're selling to somebody else from somebody, you should know what it's about. So shouldn't the company who you're buying it from, Warner Bros., say, oh, by the way, this is what it is, or not? But they didn't. They made people pay for it, and I know when they just yoinked it off and trying to give refunds. George, what are your thoughts?
I don't know if they were given that information because it's a spoiler, and I know that James Gunn is very private about letting things go. But I don't think you take it. I don't know. I mean, I feel like if they definitely should have done their research, probably shouldn't have put it up on the end. And at this point, just leave it. Like I don't know why they panicked. As far you know what I mean, like it's not
now it's a
bad. But not that it's not bad. No way. No, I'm just saying like I don't think the intent wasn't that. Right. It wasn't. It's part of what the. And as a matter of fact, if you watch the show, it's not like they're glorifying.
Right. Okay. It was just a little hidden thing. Oh, this is what the big surprise is going to be. I would say much like the General Lee with Dukes of Hazzard, it was not the intent.
Right,
And then they're like, oh, we can't have the car, and then they stopped airing the show, but it had nothing to do with the Confederacy flag at all. It's just that was the flag that they put on top of the car, and then the people who watched the show as the kid, myself included, like, oh, it's just a cool flag on the car. It had nothing to do with So it's just about the intention and the interpretation.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that it's a company. You're selling something, you should know what you're selling, and if you're getting the information from one company, you should. Yeah, you have that.
What do you think?
I just feel like
You're
gonna know every
filmmaker.
dance
You're
and
a
every
filmmaker.
move everyone does. Like if I put some bra in the film and she wants to go like this, how do I know that's referencing like I don't know Joan Rivers? People don't like Joan Rivers. Or something.
You're a filmmaker, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to 2.5 minutes.
Okay, perfect.
When Ashton Kutcher was hired to replace Charlie Sheen on 2.5 Men, he was hired as a tech guy. His character was hired as a tech guy, and during the first couple of episodes that he was on, if you look at his laptop, he put like a code or something for a business that he was promoting. The people didn't know, and then when they realized, like, hey, knock it off, and then they stopped whatever thing it was. But if he snuck it in.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't the intent of the people making the show, but they should know. You should know what you're putting out there. And if you're making a movie and you have somebody who's in there and does something, you should know. That's my point. You should know.
You know
so
what?
if you're a filmmaker, don't you think you should know?
You know what? I'm going to say
no.
I know filmmakers are humans. Most humans are defective and don't know everything. So we can't be expecting everyone to know everything. And if something slips in and you miss something, I'm gonna say that you can't know everything. So if something goes in your film and you didn't know it, well, that's
Okay.
life.
All right. So then, is it right for them to pull it from
I think it's
the game?
no. I think it's you don't have to. I just don't think every little thing has to be so controlled and so important. And
I think a
Yeah,
lot
I
of these
know.
companies are trying to protect themselves from the world
I'm
we
trying
live
to
in
protect
today.
them too, clearly.
Right. Yeah, no. Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
But I think that's what it is. I think that they panic. They say, oh my God, this happened. Take it off. And that's the
Right.
initial thing. It's just remove
Right.
it until we figure this out
Right.
because we didn't figure it out at first.
Right.
So now we're paying for it. And I think I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I think that they've cleared it, and I think that it's back.
Oh,
I think
The
okay.
dance is
I
back.
think it's back.
The
I
dance
think
is
the
back.
emote is back. Yeah, because
Oh.
they realized it wasn't
It wasn't.
what they
See?
It wasn't promoting Nazism.
Right.
Yeah, see, he was just doing
So-
this. I thought he was gay. I don't know.
No. So moving on. Moving
No,
on.
don't do it. Mark.
Yeah.
Not taking
Smart
Inquisitive
move.
mind of
Smart
yours.
move. I don't even have an answer, so I don't know
Moving
where I
on.
was going with that one.
From they just can't seem to stay away from controversy department.
Huh.
None other than filmmakers Dave Franco and Allison Brie
Oh.
are once again in hot water for their film Together, which, as mentioned in a previous episode of our show, has been accused of plagiarizing another film with the same concept of two people becoming
Horse.
physically stuck together. Turns out, no, that was the other
Oh.
movie that they also were plagiarized
Jeez, wow.
about. Turns out that the film had a scene where they had two male characters who were getting married. This scene was altered using AI to make one face appear female in the theatrical release in China. Now, once the internet found out about this change, Neon, the company's distributor, along with Michael Shanks, the director, claimed that the change was done without their permission and then pulled their movies from all movie theaters in China. The director says, to completely change the gender of a character completely changes something that's a representation of queer relationship as well as the making of the plot make less sense. It's just baffling. But once again, Jen, as a filmmaker, you make a movie, you put something in there, you get distribution for a different country,
Right.
and then they change it on you, allegedly without you knowing.
Change the gender.
They change the gender of a person. Now, I think that first of all, that if you make a movie and any change is done, you would know, because they just can't arbitrarily do something like that. But but it's China, so I cannot say for sure.
Yeah.
But you make a movie
Yeah.
and they change it on you. Do you let the change stay, or do you be like, pull the movie? I don't want my money, and I don't want Chinese money because they changed it.
I'll take the money, and I think just make sure you make that effing clear. You changed it. Hey, you want the the hot guy's now going to be a velociraptor? Go ahead. Turn it into a duck. Turn it into, I don't care. Do whatever you want. But make it clear, in many ways,
That it wasn't
this
you.
is not my idea.
Right.
Not my idea, not my idea, not my idea, not my idea. But you can do whatever you want.
But you take the money.
Sure. I love, actually one of the reasons why I do movies is because I love the ridiculous edits. Like I have movies that I'm in and it's dubbed in Hindi and Russian and I think Spanish and it's so funny. And that's why I'd rather do a horrible indie B movie than like something big, because like that's not really gonna happen if you're in the big movie.
Well, Allison Brie and Dave Franco, they're kind of
Their
big.
movies are dubbed in all these languages and
Well,
have
I
all
mean,
these weird edits.
well,
this one
this one
does,
has a weird edit, yeah.
All right, well now you opened my eyes. Yeah.
And didn't you say that people have mistaken you for Allison Brie every once in a while?
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I got that like a month ago.
Yeah,
Someone
so-
at my work was like, "What did you post?" So I said, "That was Allison Brie. I wasn't on the late night show." But okay.
George, what do you think?
Yeah.
Having your
So-
product altered with may or may not have been your permission.
Yes.
Right.
So the creative side of me says, how dare they, right? But the business side of me says, show me the money, right?
Right.
So I'm kind of torn between the two because now it does change. According to them, it changes the movie a little bit, right?
Right.
Because you're changing it from a male, like, depending on what the movie's about. Now it's a
Right.
completely different
Yeah.
meaning. The
Right.
movie means nothing at this point. But the money that you're getting for this movie, if they don't pull it, is tremendous.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where like, what? Okay, you
Yeah.
want the money
Yeah.
or do you want the creative freedom? You
Yeah.
can't have both, obviously, in that case. And what do you take? It's a starving artist. I'd probably
You take
take the money.
What if they turned your duck into a Vietnamese war soldier?
Wow.
What would you do?
Yeah, well,
That's a
but
big change.
So it wouldn't be Wonder Duck anymore.
Right. It would
Right.
wonder
How
Vietnamese.
much money?
Soldier.
How much money did you
Yeah.
get for that change?
Yeah, how much did they pay
Just $10,000.
me for? Nah,
But they change everything. We get $10,000.
nah, not 10,000.
But they'll distribute it. You could
No.
be really famous.
No, no. For what? For
You're gonna be as
Wonder
famous
Vietnamese
as the
soldier?
Blues Brothers.
No.
The Blues Brothers.
So tempting.
Where did you pull that
You almost had me.
I was just picking something big and
from? But
good.
like, out of all the things to pick, the Blues Brothers?
I know.
Did you just see that?
I don't know. I'm just thinking
Is
about
that
it.
who was just floating around?
or John
Just been thought of
Candy.
marrying
Or
his
John
animal
Candy.
out
It
there.
was that or John Candy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, I can understand John Candy more than the Blues Brothers because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
talking about
Yeah,
the documentary. They have
Yeah.
the Spaceballs 2 movie.
Well,
but the Blues Brothers
In my
came out of
time, they were
nowhere.
a big deal at one point.
Yes, I know. I'm a
Maybe you
huge
should
Blues
give
Brothers
them.
fan.
Oh, I didn't know.
But the fact that you just pulled it out.
Maybe I was picking up on something you were thinking.
There
Maybe
you
were
go.
listening to the
You
Blues
guys are so
Brothers. Were you listening to the
insane.
Blues Brothers this week?
I know. I actually, I haven't. I, that's the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, that's it.
What part of the movie was that?
Listen, I'm not a musician, okay? yeah.
Okay,
No,
all right.
You're listening to them this week, though? For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Wow, this happens
yeah,
all the time.
I
I'll
listen-
mention obscure things, and he's like, "Oh, just doing that
I
yesterday."
listened to the soundtrack. I really enjoyed
Really?
it. Yeah, I was a huge Blues Brothers fan.
Wow.
I love the
Wow.
music.
See, that was a
It's
great
actually
ask.
the fun thing about Blues Brothers is that when I was a
And Mark would be a
kid,
fan.
I saw it on TV, so I didn't know it had so much cursing and
Oh,
all stuff
yeah.
on it. And then when I rented the video, I
Yeah.
was like, oh my god, it's so much fun. This is an adult movie.
I haven't ever watched it.
You've
Yeah.
never
No.
wait. Did you just tell me that you've never seen Blues
I don't think
Brothers?
so. I
And
think-
now you pull it out of thin air?
Yeah.
That makes
See,
it worse.
Listen, I was just trying to sound cool. Like I know what's
Okay.
going on in the culture. You know,
Alright,
you know, mention things. You know, I'll go to hip hop concert and I'll wear
So-
baggy pants. You know.
So, alright, so that's it for the news.
Ah.
We're going to take a quick break in front of a live studio audience. And we're right back with more It Came From the Radio.
All right.
Hey everybody, this is Todd
Kelly's
McFarlane of the
here.
record-setting Spawn comic series. And if you're looking for any kind of cool conversation about creators, about entertainment, about all that good stuff, you go to It Came From the Radio. You're listening to the right spot.
I was wondering.
This is Quentin Flynn, a popular voice actor known for Axel, Timon, and Raiden from the Metal Gear series. And you're listening to It Came From the Radio. Stick around.
Hey, I'm Mike Kingston, the writer and creator of Headlines. And I am WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler. And guess what you're listening to? You're listening to It Came From the Radio.
So that's the inspiration behind the.
Hi, this is Amy Jo Johnson, writer and actor from the film A Space Between, and you're listening to It Came From the Radio.
Oh yeah.
Meet Grandma Everyone on It Came From the Radio. Meet Greg Berger also.
You're not giving
Now, back to our show.
And welcome back to It Came From the Radio, the official show of the Big Apple Con. This is your host, Mark Torres, speaking at our 97th live show at the East Meadow Public Library in front of a live studio audience. Just want to mention that the East Meadow Public Library has tons and tons of great programming. They have a convention once a year. They have screenings of movies. They have panels. They have so much stuff. And all of it, well, most of it, is free. So just make sure you guys go to www.eastmeadow.info for more information. And one of the programs is our show, which we're glad to be part of. I'm here with L-Man Danny Feldy, my co-host,
Hello.
who is a Blues Brothers fan but never watched the movie.
Sure.
And Mr. George Medina, who's a comic book creator. He's a writer. He's an artist. He's a letterer. He's a podcaster. You also have your own show.
Yes.
I've known George for, I'm going to say 20?
22 years?
20 plus years.
Yeah, 20
and
plus.
he actually lettered my book,
Yes.
Designated, so that actually makes him an even more cool person.
I didn't know that.
Thank you.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
the letters. He's here right now. We're gonna talk to him. So George, like I said, I've known you for so long. What would be, well, I guess the first question is, we've actually had you on the virtual live show.
Yeah.
So what would you define yourself as? Like, just list it off, all these things that you do. What is your official?
So when people approach the booths at shows, I tell them I'm a creator.
Okay.
I'm a creator, I'm a writer, but and that's what I say. I'm a creator of whatever book they're looking at, and I think that sums everything up because I create these books, I write the books, I letter them, I do all these things, but at the end of the day, we're creating all these stories in our heads and being able to put it on paper and being able to kind of like then give it to the person that's reading it.
Right.
Completes the cycle. So yeah, that's how I'm a creator.
So you're a creator. Do you like the term content creator?
Same.
No.
Because that's the new thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a new thing
Make
on
content.
social. Yeah, but I think this is okay. Again,
Right.
the creator in me, the creative in me, doesn't look at this as content.
Right.
Okay.
Right? It's a story.
Yeah.
It's more than just content. Content is, hey, what's up? My name is this today, and I'm doing this. Look, I'm frying an egg. That's content.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and hey, the chef may listen to this and be like, what do you
Nothing
mean?
wrong.
That is, I'm creating food.
So
what are you
basically
doing?
you're saying you hate all chefs.
Basically, I'm being set up.
Controversial.
That's what's happening here today.
That was a bait. That's a gotcha question right there.
Yeah. No. So I don't consider what I do content creation. I tell stories.
So how do you go from making your own comics to being a podcast? You just had your 100th, 600th episode. All right.
Podcast,
What?
yeah. So when I was here the last time, when I was watching the live show that you did a couple months ago, you mentioned that this
Our
was
live
the
show.
means to an end.
Yes.
Right? And that's exactly what that podcast was. As indie creators, we don't really have a platform, or we never did have a platform before podcast, before that. So that podcast became a means to an end. We had books that we wanted to promote. There were other indie creators that had content they wanted to create, and there was really nobody out there doing that other than you, for example, which you were doing it on the radio though, not on the internet.
Right.
And so that's where the idea of that podcast came from, and that's why we started it, and that's why we're still doing it. Yeah. Catch the Craze, by the way, is the name of the podcast.
Catch the craze. Okay.
So it's 600 interview shows you've done, and you've done other stuff because you also had your own
Yeah.
interview style thing. So
Right.
doing that many, and how long of a time frame would that have been?
Oh man, so we started that the Catch the Craze podcast in 2005.
Wow.
So, but then we took a 10-year hiatus. We were, Sam, my co-host, Sam Vera, he took a break from it, and he was kind of like the producer that was his brainchild. So when he took that break, I went on to continue doing my creation and my creating of stories, and the podcast took a back seat. In 2019, we brought it back, and then the pandemic happened, and it was like, how the heck do we do this? And everybody scrambled to find ways to do podcasts. You had people went on Skype, people went on, and it wasn't until like maybe StreamYard and a couple of things came out that people started doing that.
Right.
So yeah, so it's 600 episodes in that amount of time. It probably should have been more, but we took that time apart, and that's why we're at 600.
So now you actually used to do the rest. When I first met you, you
Yeah.
had the rest. You actually brought it to the radio station way back when.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's out trade paperback.
Yes.
And then you also did The Adventures of Wonder Dog. And you have something else that's coming out.
Correct.
And so how do you transition from one to the other to the other?
So
I'm still working on my one thing. You got three.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so you're working, I'm sure you're working on, your mind is going. You have stories in your head, constantly creating just stories. I'm sure you do as well as a creative, right?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just have happened to be fortunate enough to find the right artist, the right group of people to work with, affordable, you know what I mean, that I could afford, because I'm not an artist, I'm the writer. And so linking up with these people have allowed me to be able to put all those ideas on paper and actually get them done. I started, when you first met me, I drew Russ. I wrote, drew, and did everything on Russ. But there was this one critic who took a look at the comic and called it gaudy and garish.
Wow.
He said
Really?
this book is
Garish.
good. But he didn't criticize the story.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I held on to. I was like, okay, maybe I'm a writer.
But did you agree
not an
with that
artist.
review? Did you not like the art?
You know what?
Or do you think they were
The
wrong?
imposter syndrome kicked in.
Okay.
And I was like, this guy's right. My artist.
Maybe he wasn't though.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But I was young and impressionable,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, you know what? I could have given up. I could have said, you know what, forget it. I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm not doing this anymore. Why am I even doing comics? I'm dumb. Like, what am I doing? But like I said, I held on to the writing, right? He was like, it's a good story. So I said, you know what? I'm going to write, I'm going to finish the story, and I'm going to hire somebody to draw this for me, right? Not give up completely.
Right.
And so that's what I did. And so that's what Russ, so 6 issues is what the book is, and it's just 6 chapters. They're all in here. It's all finished. It's a completed story. But that gave me I don't want to use the word power, but the confidence to then put out the other stories that I have, and the story that's coming out.
Because you said the writing was good.
Correct.
That was it. Okay.
So I held on to that. I was like,
yeah.
Artists know drawing is not easy. It's people ask, when you're at a show, what hurts more? Like, is it harder for an artist or a writer? And I think it's harder for an artist at a show, because that's the first thing they see.
Yeah.
People will turn away because they saw the art, not because they read the story in most cases.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
you're right.
but that's a long-winded answer to you.
No, you're right.
Alright.
It's like acting and voiceover. You know, you're gonna see like a beautiful woman. A lot of people will be like, they'll deal with a bad voice. You know, it's like you see like really cool artistry. You might deal with some crappy story because it just looks so cool.
The good story will buy you the first issue. A good artwork will buy you the first issue.
Exactly.
Good story will keep you there for the rest.
See, hot girl buying the first date or a year or something, but you know, then you gotta what's inside.
So,
What's inside the girl?
because of where we are nowadays with AI, had you started now with the Rust and gotten that review, would you have turned to AI?
Oh.
I don't. Okay, now
If
we're
this-
talking about
right,
Today.
if you just did it yourself, got that review, and like, wow, AI is the thing now. I can just do.
Okay.
Would you?
I think that I would not. And only because I don't think that AI right now can still do what an artist can do. In other words, I could prompt all day to tell it what I want it to do, right? But I don't know that it'll make it look the way I want it to look every single time. And that to me is probably gonna take more work than if I just wrote the thing and said to an artist, here, can you draw this for me? Let's talk about what we're doing here. And that's the collaborative process, that's the creative process. So I don't know that I would have, man. Like, not today. You asked me that today? No, I don't think
Sounds
so.
like you're a control freak. If you weren't as controlling, then you just could have AI do it.
You know what?
Right?
I think it's a thing of like, I want the person who's coming up to the table to look at my book to want to pick it up. And I don't think that AI will be able to do that for me yet. Because I think it'll look too different, and I think it will confuse the consumer rather than control a little bit, I guess. But I guess I want to control that part of it, right? I want to be able to put it
You
in
have
there
a very
for
distinct vision.
Yeah.
If someone has a blurry vision, there's a lot of people contact me. I want to make a movie. I want to do this. You know, I'm sure people come up to you too. Those people might use AI because they don't really have the vision, so they want someone to give them the vision. But with someone who has the vision so clear, you're gonna want to do it yourself. Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah, respect.
So it's funny that you mentioned your review, because my first book that I ever got published, it was a collaboration. I didn't do the art, somebody else did it. I didn't publish it. I just co-wrote the story. And I got the review, and the review tore that book to shreds. And they said, but the writing wasn't that bad. And I'm like, the writing wasn't that bad. I was like, I was so proud of myself that they tore the rest of their books. I had nothing to do with it. So my question is, why is it that the opinion of a stranger is better than the opinion of people who you know?
Well, I think the opinion of a person you know, the people you know, for the most part, they're doing it and they're telling you something because they want to encourage you. So sometimes that advice, and not always, I'm not saying it's always the case. There were plenty of times where my dad would joke around, like, what is that drawing? Like, Dad, stop it! But for the most part, I think people you know are gonna want to pat you on the back and say, that's great, and keep it moving, just forget it. But that critic was looking at it, and I looked at it as he's looking at it through the eyes of a consumer. So if he feels that way, maybe the consumer will feel the same way, or maybe he now has incepted the consumer to think the same way, and if that's what this looks like, I gotta fix it. So that's why I
would think similarly. Yeah, definitely. Makes sense.
So what is the new book that you're doing about? And you have the Wonder Duck.
Yes.
So let's get the synopsis.
Yeah,
So-
Wonder
Okay,
Duck.
so-
Synopsis is out.
So Wonder Duck is the story of an out-of-work actor, Duck, right? He's contemplating what to do next, sitting at the pier, and suddenly a suit from outer space smacks him in the back of the head and transforms him into a hero called Wonder Duck. And that's his origin story. That's where the story kind of takes off. Now he's got to protect his planet Fuhrer
He's
from
an outward
evildoers
actor.
everywhere. He's out of work.
Oh,
He's
okay.
out of work. He was a movie star,
Oh.
fell out of favor, is out of work, and doesn't know what to do next.
Yeah.
Becomes this superhero, and now that becomes the biggest role of his life. And so we follow the adventures of this duck going through
Right.
protecting, the planet, and then you have all that other fun superhero stuff.
Most writers have, or at least I would say most good writers have tons of backstory that never sees the light of day.
Oh yeah.
Did you make films in your mind of what he did as an actor?
Oh, that's
Yes.
a cool story.
I know exactly what he wears a T-shirt based on a movie that he was in, which
Ah.
is kind of like it's an Easter egg for a book that a friend
that's
of mine
cool.
we worked on together. So like if that had become a film, that's the film he was in, and that's the film
cool.
that was his biggest role in life. Yeah, so definitely.
That's always
There's
the
definitely
cool
that.
thing. So you have all that inspiration
Yeah.
and the motivation of these things.
Yeah.
Usually they say, write what you know. You're not an out-of-work actor.
Right.
You're not a duck.
Right.
So how did
Right.
this happen?
I was a
Right.
huge fan of the Disney Afternoon way back in the day, and DuckTales was the one that I
Yeah.
loved the most. Gizmo Duck was my favorite character in the whole story, so I decided I needed my own superhero duck. But what hasn't, Peter Parker, so it's a photographer, Superman is, he's a reporter. I was like, what if I make this kid an out-of-work actor?
Yeah, that's
what does that
fun.
look like? One of the characters in the book is an agent who's trying to hire him, but he doesn't want to hire Duke. He wants to hire Wonder Duck because that's the payday is representing a superhero. So there's some of that in the story as well.
Is there a secret identity? Do people know
Yes.
that he is? So they don't know
People
that
don't
he...
know who he is,
Okay.
but his secret that he's Duke Dolbeak, and will become Wonder Duck. Yes.
So now the shameless plug.
Yes.
What is that about?
I was 7 years old when I came to the United States. I was a little immigrant kid, didn't speak the language. I was skinny, goofy. I really didn't fit in, right?
So
So
nothing has changed.
I still look the same. So this story is about a kid named Joaquin who comes into the same situation. But what he does is he creates an imaginary friend named Pana who's going to teach him that sometimes to fit in, you just have to be yourself. It's going to be okay. And so that's the story of the shameless plug. The shameless plug essentially is this imaginary friend who says, hey man, just be you. It's going to be fine. And so they go on this little adventure together on how to fit in a school where he's the odd person out. So
With the shameless plug character, and the design is amazing. It's a really weird thing. Where did you come up with that idea?
I drive for work. And I was sitting in my car, and you guys know the head of the what is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, the head of your plug for your iPhone. That little head. That I was like, this would be a cool character if I created this little guy right here. So then I was like, okay, well, what would the story be? And originally I was going to make it a story about a family of plugs. And he was just an odd plug who didn't fit in. But I was like, I don't know if I like that too much.
Yeah.
And then I've always wanted to do an homage to like Ecuador, which is the country I came from. And I was like, what if I did something like that? That'd be kind of cool, right? So I started drafting it. I started writing ideas down and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden I had the look of a character, and then I just filled out the rest of the story with just the cast. And so I hired the same artist who did the Wonder Duck book, Joseph Olesko. Hired him to do the artwork inside, so he's doing the entire work inside. But on top of that, I was talking to I always talk about this, about how Steve Ditko and Stanley, who created Spider-Man, right?
Right.
I don't want to have that, so I always sketch out my characters and send it off to the artist and say, this is what it looks like. Do this.
Yeah.
But for the shameless plug, I drew it the same way, and I sent it over to a buddy of mine named Joe Holly, and I asked him, hey man, can you just sketch this out for me? And his design killed mine. And I was like, dude, this is really good.
Wow.
So I decided to use that design. Then I hired a gentleman by the name of C. Michael Lannon, who did the rest of the cast. He basically, I sketched out the cast and I sent it over to him and he designed it. So it was a group project. It was a group project, I should say.
Yeah. So if any actors were gonna play Wonder Duck, who would you have play him? Timothy Chalamet, John Cena,
Wait
Eddie
a minute.
Murphy.
You know what?
Timothy Chalamet, for real?
You know what?
Oh my God.
You know what?
Really?
Now you say that, and I'm like,
Wow.
yeah,
Ah,
Knicks
really?
fan. I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything about him. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Have you heard him in interviews?
Either him or the
Brad
gentleman-
Pitt,
No,
DiCaprio.
he plays Spider-Man. Tom Holland.
Oh, okay.
I like Tom. So maybe Tom.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So a white guy. You're thinking of a white guy to play Wonder
Well,
Duck.
you know. I mean,
These are very white people.
You
And
think?
I'm like 7/8 white, so
Well, I mean-
I know white people.
I mean, we're talking
you
about
know.
a duck, right? He's a white duck.
I don't know. I'm talking about
Yeah,
casting for a duck.
yeah,
You know what a DEI hires?
I put him in a suit. Nobody can tell.
Why did you pick like somebody who was sent to ICE sent
Well,
that-
to be fair, you set me up. You said Timothy.
Yeah.
Timothy. And
I
then
did. I
was
gave you a
all of
leading
sudden-
question,
Yeah,
so.
you did.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah,
Wow.
maybe Tim, or like I said, Tom.
Wow. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you were gonna go a different route.
Yeah.
Sorry. Second choice.
Sure, second choice.
Second choice for Wonder Duck
Right.
casting.
I don't have one yet.
No.
No.
Queen Latifah.
No.
No. I don't know.
No.
I'm just trying to say.
No.
All right.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
I'm just trying to picture this coming to life.
I understand.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking about this. second
Chalamet.
one. Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
Chalamet and then Tom. So there's 1 and 2.
So two very
I just-
in-work actors to play out-of-work actors.
Yes.
The irony.
Why not?
You're gonna really make them dig
Make him
deep.
feel it.
Yeah, remember when nobody liked you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
And
gonna
then hit
make
him in
you
the back
feel
of the
that.
head with a suit.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Mark?
We did this with Designated. I want to know who the girl was on
Did
the
you?
cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the cover is me and Britney Spears. So, same thing.
So when you're working on, since you brought it up,
Yeah.
when you're working on someone else's property, like you did with mine, how is that different than working on your own?
I always say this. Whenever you're working on somebody else's vision, you have to respect that vision.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not my book.
Mm-hmm.
So, the biggest thing, when I'm working with somebody else, they say to me, well, what do you think? And it's like, no, man.
Yeah.
It's what do you want?
Exactly.
This is your book.
Yeah.
Let's respect your book. This is your vision. What do you want?
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Sometimes listen, I don't know. I want to pick your brain about this. That's different. But if I'm already hired to do something for you,
Yeah.
let me know what you want. What do you want? I'll give you options. I give you options, you pick it. I think that's the difference between obviously.
But
one
as an
and
outside hire and as the creative person,
Mhm.
at no point in time you're like, well, this is crap. This way is better, or this is, you wouldn't even if you did see something that you're like, you know what, I can really help this guy.
I'll ask you. I'll say.
Are you sure this is what?
No, I'll say.
how do you-
Let me ask you a question. I was like,
Yeah.
why did you choose to do this? Because okay, I letter. The biggest thing that I see when I'm lettering books is no space for the words, but you have lines for days in one panel, and I'm like, can I break that up into I'll ask you that, or do you want to, should we shorten that, or listen, this isn't fitting. What do you want to do? I'll ask that because I don't want to touch what you thought. If you've misspelled degree, if I find a typo, I'm not gonna leave it alone because it's not my job. No, come on, degree's got 2 E's. Let's get that right.
Yeah.
That's fine. But changing the words because what if the character speaks like that? I don't know. What if you purposely wrote it with an incorrect grammar because the character speaks like that? My character, Joaquin, right? When he starts learning English, he doesn't speak correct English because he's learning how to speak English. So if I gave it to somebody and said, hey man, this kid's talking all crazy. He doesn't even sound right. Well, it's not supposed to. But you wouldn't know that, right? Because you're not the creator of the book. Of course, it's my job to make you understand that. And I think that's, if I didn't do that, then I did it wrong. And I guess I have to look into that. But I wouldn't change, I wouldn't change something that you sent me just because I thought it was wrong. It's like we had a situation where you were like, I thought that's what you wanted on in one of the words. And so I didn't change it. Come to find out it was a typo. But I didn't know that, but I wasn't going to change it. Maybe you meant it that way. I don't know.
Yeah, you asked me, are you sure?
I did.
And I was like, yeah, that's right. And then
Yeah.
you read it, I was like, oh no, it's not right.
Right,
Ah.
but I left it. I gave it to you that way, and so But I think that's the back and forth we would have. It's not me changing it just because I know better
Right,
than you. I'm a
right.
better writer than this guy. What's
Yeah.
crazy? This doesn't sound right. I'm not.
Yeah.
So sliding back over to the podcast and your own podcast and interviewing people, what approach do you have as your own being a creator yourself that you look into other creators? Do you find that that's something that because you're a creator it's easier to interview other creators, or you find it more difficult because then you're just thinking of your own stuff instead of trying to listen to them?
I learn from these interviews. Even though the guys that we interview, we're at the same level, we're still trying to make it out there, but I learned from, I'll tell you this, and I'm with you here, and I was thinking about this today. We had you on the show, and we interviewed you, you gave, one of the answers you gave me, man, I still think about this. I say to you, what are some of the rules of writing for you? And one of the rules is, if you've made something a law, like a rule within your story, you can't change that rule.
Right.
You can't change that rule later on just because it fits. It fits what's happening right now. Once you change that rule, you've killed the story. And I remember that, and I never thought about it that way. And I was like, wow, that's good, man. I'm gonna use that, and I use it, dude. You could tell me I've never written a book about writing comics, but I use that, and that's what I like about talking shop and talking to other creators, because we learn from our mistakes, and it's good to ask you, hey man, I did this, or hey, I did this. What do you think? Or what led you to that? And I learned from that. So that's kind of like what I take from every interview, and I approach it that way. Let me learn from this person what they've done and how they've done things, and where can I learn? Sometimes I don't learn from what they've done well. I've learned from what they haven't done.
Oh, yeah.
I've learned from their mistakes.
Yeah. That's why I like to be on bad or like low level or middle sets. And I like to be on good sets, but I'll learn the most. Like, I did something for Marvel or McDonald's, like everything is to the T. And how much did I learn? Not all that much.
Right.
But on a lower level set, I will learn like 10 things not to do, or weird things you can use for a rolling dolly. But speaking of things that you would do differently in your career, because you started your podcast 2005, what things would you have not done or like done differently if like you could go back?
Yeah, I think if I can go back, I think I would have taken it more serious.
Taking it more serious?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what do you mean?
I don't think we were like now. Every week we're on.
Okay.
Every week, we're on live every
Right.
week. Back then it was like, I don't have time today. I'm gonna go hang out. I'm gonna go do this. I didn't take it seriously, so
Okay.
we didn't give it a chance to grow and get to where
Got
it
it.
could have been.
Yeah.
So I think I would have changed that. I would have taken a lot of what I was doing back
Show
then.
seriously.
Yeah. And even a lot of my creating, a lot of my work, a lot of doing conventions, showing up for conventions. Like I was young and I was hanging out. I was like, hey.
So hanging out, you do less hanging out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like less dinners, less coffee, less.
No, less hanging out. Like when I was talking about hanging out, like hanging out with friends and clubs and all kinds of crazy
okay.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're not talking the after parties and the
No,
hanging out after conventions.
no
and stuff.
massages and drugs and stuff. I'm not talking about that.
I don't know. I want to know the path to success and what not to do. I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
So we're at social media time.
Yeah.
Where
Yes.
can people find out more about your stuff?
You can go to my website, getyourmeds.com. Meds is a play on my last name.
Right.
My last name
Yeah,
is
that's
Medina. I want you to get hooked on my meds, my
Yeah.
comics. That's going to be what I want you to get hooked on. So getyourmeds.com with a Z. And then you can also find me on Instagram, Get Your Meds, and stuff like that. I currently have a Kickstarter going for the Shameless Plug. So if you guys check out the website, you'll see that my Kickstarter is running right now.
So since it's all about get your meds, is it the first? Do you always give it the first one free?
I do have free. I do. I give a lot of things for free. If you stop by my table, I have a spinning wheel. It's got a bunch of stuff on there. I'm always giving out free stuff. Right now, every 10 backer, like if I reach at 10 backers, I spin the wheel, and some people will win what I call a gold cap bottle. And what it is it gives you a chance to, once the book is done, if you find me at a convention and you hand me that, I will give you a free comic. I will give you the graphic novel once it's completed for free. So
That's cool.
So we're almost out of time. Almost out of time. Jen, do you have any final thoughts?
Final thoughts: prioritize your time. Take time off, or time will just have to make you take time off. Yeah, that's my thought of the day.
Jorge, do you have
Yeah.
any final thoughts?
I think that if you have an idea, if you have a project that you want to work on or complete, do it. Follow through, just finish it. Finish it. Whether
hang
it's
it
writing.
out. Don't hang out.
Don't hang out. Don't go to clubs.
Change it.
Yeah. If you're young and you have an idea, finish what you're doing.
Right.
Take it serious.
Then hang
because
out.
time goes by, like you said, time's a thief.
Yeah.
And that thing will, sweep up on you, and before you know it,
Right.
You're
Right.
like, damn, what did I do?
Would you rather be hanging out when you're 60 and look back on all you've done, and then you can go to dinner and hang out and go, oh, look at all these books I did, look at all these things. Or you can hang out and you're, that's what I'm going to do when I'm 60, 70, even 5 years, even 2 years from now. I'm going to go, oh, look what I did, look what I did, look what I did, look what I did. But if I hang out now in the last 2 years, I wouldn't be able to sit around 3 months from now, even this winter, and watch all the films I did and go, ha. And I'd just be hanging out and wasting time and celebrating what? What are you celebrating, right?
So you were kind enough to raffle off one of your books.
Yes.
We're also giving away tickets to the Big Apple Con.
Okay.
And we're also giving away 2 tickets to the Extravacon, which is in Melville in November. And it's a comic book show on November, I believe. 15th, thank you very much.
There we go.
So, do you want to do one big prize, 3 different prizes? What would you like to do since you're our guest?
3 different prizes.
Yeah.
What's the first prize?
Let's do one of the conventions.
Minor convention. So we'll do Big Apple Con first. 2 free passes, Big Apple Con.
Okay.
No looking. Pull out.
All right, here we go.
Winner is.
What do you got there?
376821.
376821. There you go. You got
There it
3
is.
tickets to the Big Apple Con. So that's Big Apple Con. That's 1.
All right.
Now we're gonna do Extravacon.
Sure.
Extravacon.
All right, here we go.
No,
Extravacon. We got
And
376822.
822.
right next to each other. Well, here we go.
What are the
Finally.
chances?
So, okay.
Finally, for the book.
All right, fine. You want to come out? What do you got there?
376819.
Yeah.
19.
Winner, chicken
Okay.
I
dinner.
feel like I got one loser in the.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
But he appreciated the show. That's what's important.
Oh, is that what happened?
So, so that about does it for this week, and it came from the radio.
Do you appreciate it?
Join us right there every week on our radio show. If you miss any part of the show, go to our website, www.itcamefromradio.com. Archives will be up any week or so. Our next live show will be on Wednesday, November 12th at the Eastmore Public Library. We're going to have indie author Frank DeStefano, and we're also going to be giving away 2 more tickets to the Big Apple Con. So make sure you guys go check that out. For more information, that's www.eastmore.info. I want to thank George for coming down here. I want to thank our live studio audience. We will see you next time on It Came From the Radio.
No mean ex-wives.
You've been listening to It Came From the Radio with Mark Torres. The views of the show's host and guests do not necessarily reflect that of the management, owners, or staff of the station. We now return you to your monthly scheduled broadcast.
Going out to the library. I used to do workshops there.
Yeah, of course.
I really used to teach. I used to do workshops here.
Thanks, Mark.
20 years ago. Oh, 20 years ago. Yeah. Living before my time, boy.